Hey guys, in this video we're going to check out a composition I've been using to climb in ranked, so far up to platinum, and hopefully beyond. It's a composition that works really well in 9.17 with the Void Sins and the Shifters meta that's been going on right now, and I think it's a good way to get top 4 because the early game can be super strong as well. Like and subscribe if you enjoy the content, and let's check it out. Alright, so this is something you might do in the beginning. Clearly you wouldn't have all 3 items on Graves, but 2 Knights plus a Graves is a nice spread, and then we can easily transition into some level 4, level 5 comps with this. Alright, so this is something we might transition into really early. Just throw a Gunslinger in there, which gives Graves some additional utility. At this point, I'd like to at least have like a Sword Breaker or a Hush or a red buff on him just to utilize his spread with the Gunslinger as well. There is also the Knight bonus, which gives us a little durability. So this is something we might do early on as well for a level 4 comp. We have Garen, and then we also have Nobles with Lucian and Fiora with Graves as well here. Again, we want to have some kind of utility on Graves, and then we might at this point have like a Spark on maybe Fiora or Lucian. Perhaps a Morello on Garen. Something for a little bit of extra damage is nice. So this is something that we could run into relatively early. This is a level 6 comp. We run into Blade Masters and Gunslingers with Gangplank, and then we also have Poppy and Sedge for the Knight bonus, as well as some CC. Again, all these items are just suggestions. I really have been favoring Shen in this meta with something like a Frozen Heart or a Phantom Dancer, something I can put like right on the front line, maybe next to Graves or someone who you really want the ult to go off, like a Sejuani. His ultimate is really good against the assassins and mitigating that damage that they can put out. Aatrox is just a really good choice. He's super strong even without the demon synergy. Of course, you could maybe do like a Demon Spatula on Graves, or you could do it on Sejuani. That's always super popular. So there's some options to get Demon. This is an early transition into Gunslinger's Blade Masters. You have both synergies from Gangplank as well as an early Blade Master Spatula. So if you can get the early Blade Master Spatula, definitely try to pick up that Gangplank early as well. And then you have Shen in the front line. With 2 Knights, you are reasonably sturdy and you have a decent amount of damage from the Graves and the Gangplank. Poppy and Sejuani are just really good. Knights, you probably could get away with doing this with like a Darius or a Mordekaiser on the cheaper end. Again, you see the utility items on Graves. The ability to disable the enemy team is only amplified when you add in the Blade Master for Graves. Alright, so here we have kind of that what we were just talking about, something that's a little bit more budget friendly if you're in a position where you're not really getting a lot of strong units. This is an early 4 Knights, 2 Gunslingers. I run this a lot when I'm looking for the Gangplank or I'm looking for the Shen or the Aatrox still. This is very durable with the 4 Knight bonus, and if you can get like a Spark on Lucian, and if you can get a Shiv on Lucian or like a Spark on Poppy or one of the other Knights, someone who's going to last the whole battle, you can really get some additional damage while your team tanks and your Graves disables their attacks. Hush is really strong, Swordbreaker is really strong. Again, red buff is extra damage as well as disables the healing items they might have at this point. So I think that Graves honestly is underutilized right now in this meta, especially just because he can shut down a team and let your damage over time items such as a Shiv or an Ionic Spark do the work that they need to do. Alright, so this is an early game fight where we have Nobles and Graves. You can see we have Graves with the Hush. His spread is really nice. This game I paired him with a Morello on Garen. Effectively that Hush there at the end allowed us to mana cap the Darius, which gave us a more definite win. In this one, just notice, like, again, how well the Shen did there. You know, realistically, it's not just about winning. Like if you're gonna win early, you want to also win hard, because every health that you're not taking from them in the early game when you have the opportunity is health that they could use in taking you over later on. So this is where we have some Blade Masters as well in the mix. Still just Hush on Graves. We got Gunslingers with Gangplank as well as Blade Master. Here we do have Swordbreaker. And the disarm is also just really, really strong. See it go to work there on Lucian. I think it's also strong against like some sorcerer comps or things like that, because then they can't cast to gain mana. So there's Hush, and then there's also Swordbreaker, and both of them kind of mana cap the enemy. This is a great example of Swordbreaker right here. Like the Gnar is just completely disabled. So here we have Blade Master on Graves as well, and that's where this game got pretty nutty, but I don't think it would be too terribly difficult to like prioritize a Blade of the Rune King. We still ended up losing here. I think I kept this one in there just to show how close we were. Here's another one. Look at how Graves just kind of disabled that whole chunk of people. And this was a good positioning. I like to keep them on the sides. Disarms. Here comes Graves. The Gnar does get his shift off. And then that was like a triple disarm. Did you see that? This is a pretty nutty fight. Just watch Graves on the front line. Like he disarms probably 5 or 6 people. This is 4 Gunslingers, 3 Blade Masters. I think 4 Gunslingers is probably better than 6 Blade Masters, but I haven't completely play tested this yet. I did finish in second this game, as you can see on the right there. We actually came behind some shifters here, but we did manage to take this team out, which was pretty impressive. He had, he high rolled. I think he said he had like 5 3-stars at this point, maybe 4. I was definitely kind of memeing with the double Zeeks on Gangplank as well.